Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. You can see I am horizontal. I recently had the question, what is a purge? And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit and explain to you why I'm horizontal. Often, let's start with, I did promise that I would always bring you kind of a real-time look at what a Kundalini awakening is like. And so this is probably the most accurate look of what a Kundalini is like, because you'll spend an awful lot of time in your bed. For different reasons. One of the reasons is it's exhausting. This process is exhausting. It's like going into the ring with Muhammad Ali from the inside out. You're just getting battered often in different realms at the same time. So spiritually, lots is happening and lots is shifting and changing, and emotionally, lots is purging. So this is where we get into the purge, as well as physically as well. And the mindscape doesn't really like it. At least mine doesn't. I have to keep reminding it it's safe, it's okay. You're going through awakening. It's it's this too shall pass. All of these types of energies. So for the last few nights over the full moon, I have been getting battered with nightmares, and, well, they're scary. And that's because I have a lot of fear in me because of my trauma. So if we remember from yesterday's video, if you didn't watch it, the root cause of all trauma is at its core a love deficit that occurred. So in a moment, something happened when there should have been love and there wasn't. There was bullying, abuse, minimization, cruelty, an accident, getting bitten by a snake. There was some sort of energy that was needed, which was the love was needed. And in that moment, what you got instead was something else. And that something else had a ripple effect out, and an emotion was created, an emotion of fear, an emotion of upset, an emotion of grief, an emotion of, anything that emotion came into being, was born. And that emotion got lodged and trapped into you, and your little inner child couldn't process through it at that age and stage whenever this incident happened. So trauma isn't what happened. Trauma is the repercussions of what happened. It's the energy that you carry with you because of what happened. So when people talk about, it happened however long ago, yes, the initial trigger happened 50 years ago for me, or 40 years ago, depending on when the situation was. But the emotion that was released and created in my nervous system is still present today in my body. And when you go through an awakening, all of those things that are still present in today, in the now, the trauma that is here, the repercussion of that incident, that is the trauma. It begins to purge out of your body. And so on an awakening, you will experience what I call the fuckeries, first and foremost. And the fuckeries are like outside situations that trigger the bejesus out of you. So in my case, it was divorce, it was death, it was loss, of friends and family members. It was a legal battle. That one was the ultimate fuckery. It can be small little fuckeries of, appliances breaking. I had that as well. It can be conflicts with people. It can be negative situations. So things that are kind of happening on the outside that keep like poking you. So that's why I say, triggers are an opportunity for healing is what they are. And you have to look at them like that. You can't look at them anymore like, all these bad things keep happening to me. Yeah, those bad things are happening to you for a reason. They're happening for you to purge out those stored emotions inside of you. And so when the universe can't arrange situations for you to poke you, sometimes you will experience insane dreams, like horrible nightmares, because that's the only way it can poke you to get those emotions out. So last night I was having terrible nightmares that induced a lot of fear, a lot of feeling like, oh my God, I'm like seriously fucking up. I've done something wrong. And so I had to deal with those emotions. And then on the physical, as these things are also being transmuted, you're experiencing physical sensations all the time on a Kundalini. And those can range. I've done ascension symptoms videos before, and I've done one recently, even if you're feeling like crap, something like that was the title of it. So at the present moment in time, well, let's start last night. I had an incredibly terrible, painful headache. So I was using my massager on my head actually to release because it was so tight. And I have a massager that just doing tapping or something when it's in there. It literally felt like my nose was being like realigned. I have a deviated septum. And I did hear from one self-proclaimed guru that you can go through what is known as like bone migration. And although he turned out to be a scary individual, so buyer beware, yes, in the more research I did to him, it was bad. So be careful who you choose to be your guru, because they can lead you in the bad place. But I'm going to assume that this bone migration thing has some validity to it, because I look completely different. It's not just a matter of losing weight. Like I look different. My nose shape has changed over the last few years, and it's weird. It's just weird. So yes, sometimes you might get pressure, so much pressure in your head that it does feel like your bones are literally migrating. Maybe Kundalini will make me a couple inches taller. That would be kind of cool. But painful. My teeth were literally like vibrating last night, and I was hearing, like, I often hear, I should say I always hear in my ears. Sometimes it's insanely loud, sometimes it's not so loud. When it's dead quiet and the energy is in my head, it's really loud. Now, that's not to be confused with the downloads, what they call downloads, because downloads, you might hear different pitches in one ear that only last a short amount of time. So you'll get like in one ear or the other ear. That's not the same thing that I'm talking about. I'm talking about, this is like inside my head, it feels like, and it does have a name. Nada, I think is the name of it, which is supposed to be like part of a Kundalini experience. Now, I don't know a lot about that, so I'm not a Kundalini expert. I just know my own Kundalini. If you want a Kundalini expert, I really highly recommend Craig Holiday. He does videos, and I have gone to some of he's got a Kundalini group where you can ask questions, and it's very useful. So I do recommend him if you're suffering from extreme Kundalini symptoms and conditions. And then today, this morning, I woke up and it feels like underneath, like on my side, underneath my, in my rib cage, because I've been doing a lot of work on my heart chakra for 3.5 years. You get these like heart pains anywhere in the entire region. Like it can be in your back, it can be on your side, it can be in the front. And I've gone to the hospital before and had all the tests done, including x-rays, and they're like, you're totally fine, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like, ah. So I know it's not a medical condition. I just but the pain in the musculature in the intercostal muscles right now is really cramped up. I think I'll probably do some massage on it or lie on a trigger point ball, which is what I lie on all the time. Like I have my soft ball that I use, and I have smaller ones, but I like the soft ball in bed because, oh yeah, that's better. And in it's like, it's not just releasing physically. So these emotions get stored in the body and in the cloud, as I say it. Sometimes we like send shit we just can't deal with out into our auric field, and we're like really extreme traumas. We can't even it's like we can't even deal with some of the repressed memories and traumas that you might have experienced as a child. And then when it's time to deal with it, it's like they get downloaded back into your body, and your body will have aches and pains all over the place. Like every single day for the last 3.5, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, I have been dealing with aches and pains every single day. And like, I will massage it. I will, soak in a bath. I will use stretching. I will do whatever. So right now we are clearing out something in the intercostal muscles, and that emotion is extreme loneliness. So I'm like, this morning I woke up and I'm like, no, I feel so lonely. Oh my God, I feel so lonely. And understand, when I talk about these things, I'm observing them. I'm not like allowing myself to be overtaken by them. And like, even though it's very difficult, it is very difficult while you're purging, grief and loneliness and fear and anxiety and panic and terror and anguish and sorrow. I mean, like everything. You're going to just purge everything. So, at this stage, I'm able to talk about it without being like too overcome by it. Like I'm not like, I can observe that there's loneliness, and I'm like, okay, we're processing loneliness today. You know what I mean? There's a space. I've created a space through being in the observer. Oh, funny. Now I'm getting one of those other downloads. I've created a space so that I can observe whatever the emotion is, so I'm not consumed by it. Because when you're consumed by it, it can snowball and exacerbate and get really, really bad and really, really dark. So, I'm feeling loneliness could turn into, I'm so depressed. And so we don't want to spiral down. We want to, whatever we're processing, create enough space that, okay, something is being released. This, whatever's being released, is for my highest and greatest good. It's purging out of me for my purification. This is part of what is known as the purification process. And so a good book to read, although a little heavy, is The Dark Night of the Soul by a monk. Oh, geez. It's flown right out of my head. It was written like in the 1700s or something like that, a very long time ago. Maybe if I took this thing out of my back, I'd be able to concentrate more, but it really feels good. It's like pleasure pain, pleasure pain, because the pain is quite severe and you want to be able to get into it. So purging is for our highest and greatest good. So when you realize that, when you understand that, it helps you. It helps you know that Kundalini is working for you. So you surrender into it. And surrendering into it is really difficult. But you're like, with my legal battle, I was like, by the end, I was like, okay, whatever happens, happens. I just surrender into it. And so at the end, when I lost $60,000, and I'm like, okay. And my lawyer was like looking at me going like, that's a lot of money. Like, and I was like, what am I supposed to do about it? Do you know what I've been through the last 2 years? I don't care. I'm alive. I'm alive, and I'm signing, and this is ending. You know, my peace is more important to me than $60,000. And he thought I was insane, and I don't care, because like I know Spirit is leading me to make my own money, and I'll make it up. You know, it'll come back somehow, some way. In that regard, you know, some teachings from the Bible are kind of useful. I was never a Bible person before, but I gotta say the story of Job certainly like made me feel more calm when it came to losing stuff, you know, because you'll lose stuff. You're gonna not only purge physically, and when I say physically, you will purge physically as well, through urine, through defecation, through sweat. You'll go through sweaty cycles, through tears, and more tears, through vomit, through phlegm. Any which way your body can release energy that's stored in it, and it needs to, it will release. It will release. So depending on which chakra you're working on, it might release by vomiting. So your body is going to purge physically. Emotions are going to purge. Those are going to come about by triggers on the outside world and triggers in your dreamscape. Triggers, and more triggers. The fuckeries are going to trigger the fuck out of you, because that's literally what we're doing, is we're getting all the fucks out of us so that we have no fucks left to give. So we can sit down after we've just lost $60,000 and go, okay. Like, okay. If that's what Spirit wants, if that's what I need, if that's what needs to happen, okay. No more fucks to give. Like, I used to be the most emotional person on the planet. Like, of course, I tried to keep them all locked inside of me as best I could with smoking, drinking, drugs, pharmaceuticals, caffeine, doing, more doing, and trying to be perfect, and trying to control the universe, and trying to, you know, make everybody else happy, and people please, and all these like dysfunctional coping mechanisms, and none of which I do anymore. So all of the stuff that was locked inside of me, all that extra 130 pounds worth of shit that was locked inside of me, needed to like leave, needed to go. And so there's still more stuff inside of me. Awakenings take anywhere from 1 year, if you're a 10-year-old maybe having an awakening. I don't know. I have heard of people having 1 year long awakenings, and I'm like, what? Up to 10 years or longer. Okay, now, or longer isn't really normal. It's not common. The most common is somewhere between 3 and 7 years. And so I'm somewhere in between there. And what is happening for me now is that I am no longer in the depths of hell. That was 2 years ago, when I was going through dark night of the soul and spiritual emergency, and everything was collapsing. I'm no longer there. I'm dancing around between a kind of mild dark night of the soul some days. Some days it's not good. It's not good. But I'm an observer while it's not good, which means I'm still managing much better than I was 2 years ago. 2 years ago was, I don't know how I got through that. I honest to God don't know how I got through that. I was very blessed to have had one friend at the time that checked on me a couple times, another friend who was checking on me by text messages, who lives in Florida. And if it wasn't for those two women, I don't know how I would have gotten through that. I really have no idea. That's why I say I know what it is to lie in fear, in terror, in your bedroom, scared out of your tree, and being absolutely alone and having absolutely no one that you can call because you've lost everyone. All of your people, the people you thought were your people, who clearly weren't your people. They clearly weren't my people because, when truth came to light, it was clear that they weren't actually my people. But I thought they were, right? And you go through, that's why you go through a lot of grief, is because if you have a lot of trauma, you've gone through life where one of your coping mechanisms has been people, and those people have been dysfunctional people. And you've been enmeshed in toxic, dysfunctional relationship. And it's ripped away from you. All attachments are ripped away from you on an awakening. If it's an unhealthy, toxic attachment, it will be ripped away from you. So for me, certain things that helped me was getting the mindscape into a better place of understanding that the triggering is happening for me. The fuckeries is happening for me. The pain is happening for me. The emotional releases are happening for me. That the purging is my purification. And that is happening for me. And that all of this is leading me into becoming a less reactionary, less emotional, more capable, more consciously aware, more loving, more kind, more compassionate person. And the mind still, even though you can say these things, that's why it's really useful to have affirmations, mantras, little signs on your wall if you need them. Mine is spirit will provide what I need when I need it. On my door still. At one point I had my entire wall covered with mantras and affirmations and notes. I also have a journal, which is my truth journal. I don't journal down all my feelings. What I instead do is journal down truths I need reminding of. So I'll do 10 truths on a day that I'm struggling, and it'll be like, here. Sorry for the hair, but whatever. A little bit of morning hair. I'm going to just share with you one. Why not? Okay, because I got notes about fear in here, because so much fear. Oh my God, so much fear. Okay, certain truths. Oh no, we're not going to do that one. Truths. Truth, number one, this too shall pass. That's the law. That's a law of impermanence. That's a law. So that is a truth. And I can, remind myself of that. And then number two, I don't need to be happy or successful. I just need to survive. See, in that moment, I was taking off all expectations. When we have expectations of what we're supposed to be like, we have to be positive vibes. We have to be, accomplishing something in the moment. No, we need to take out expectations is what we do. Number three, I am having normal Kundalini awakening symptoms. So my mind needed to know that, because sometimes the mind is like, oh my God, what's happening to me? Am I having a heart attack? Am I having a stroke? Am I going schizophrenic? What is going on? Am I being manipulated in some way? Are neighbors sending me weird energy? I've heard that one too. So don't go down those rabbit holes. They won't help you. It'll just add to the fear. Number four, I am safe in my room. In my room right now, I am safe. That's all that matters. I have a lot of PTSD symptoms that have come about since I quit all the things that were keeping all the PTSD locked inside. So cultivating safety has been like my numero uno of importance. Number five, this is happening for me. For me. This is purging shit for my purification. Okay? Here, sorry, take that out of my mouth. This is getting better, by the way. It slowly but surely is getting better. Everything is going to be okay. Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic, because the mind does not like the purge. The mind does not like the emotions. The mind does not like feeling lonely. The mind does not like feeling fear. The mind doesn't like it at all. And so that's where I stopped with that particular one. But you see, I'll grab my journal, and here's another one. God is handling it. So trust that even though I am lying on my ass being pummeled by these releases, I have to have faith and trust that everything is divinely orchestrated and being worked out for my highest and greatest good. So this whole concept of highest and greatest good, I am guilty of it as well. I used to think that my highest and greatest good was, me walking in Mexico with the man of my dreams, laughing and dancing and having a grand old time of it with my book sales flying off the shelf. That's my picture of my highest and greatest good. Yes, happiness, joy, and what's for your highest and greatest good is sometimes this. This is for my highest and greatest good. To get me, hopefully, maybe to that place one day where I can be swimming naked in a cenote. Wouldn't that be lovely? But I'm not there yet. To get me there, to get me to what I want, means I have to purge. It means I have to release all of the shit that is preventing me from getting there. All of that stuff. So learning to cultivate trust is a very difficult process on this awakening, but and reframing what my highest and greatest good looks like is important, because you have to surrender. You have to surrender and surrender and surrender some more. Like, life is just a constant state of surrendering once you've had an awakening. That's just it. You are surrendering in understanding that whatever ick you are in, the more you surrender into the ick of, oh my God, my heart is lonely. I need to hug myself and just take care of myself and just be loving on myself. The more you do that, then the faster and easier the process is going to be to get you at the other side. So it is. Keep going. There's a good truth. Keep going. Sometimes you feel like giving up. When you're going through ego death, you're like, Lord, take me now. Seriously, take me now. There's been so many times I've lied here in prayer for like, please, 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 just take me now. And it's not an easy process, but like literally simplify your life when you're having days like that down to, just breathe. That's all you have to do is breathe. It goes back to you just need to survive. This too shall pass. You just need to survive it. Just breathe. Number 5, it's okay to rest and recover. Yeah, our society is all about, come on, gotta get up, gotta do the things, gotta go for a walk. And even I bought into that for so long. You gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta keep the house clean. My house is such a mess right now, it's not even funny. And I'm like, it'll get cleaned when it gets cleaned. Because I know me, and I know when I get a burst of energy, I'm like the Energizer Bunny. That's what they used to call me actually in college, was Energizer, because I had so much energy, and I'll have energy again. But when you're in a rest recovery stage, because you have to like purge through all of this stuff, when you're in purging, you gotta rest. It's exhausting work you're doing on the inside. Somebody else might look at you and think you're lazy. Who the fuck cares what they think? Because they don't know what you're experiencing, what you're transmuting through, what you're alchemizing through, what you're doing as all of these traumas come back into your body, and you have physical pain and aches and discomforts, and you are releasing emotions that are coming out, and like wailing, crying is like tiring. It's very tiring. And even if you like, I'm kind of past the wet emotions. I'm still in the fear emotions, but processing through fear, your nervous system going like this and releasing fear, and that it's hard work. It's very fucking hard work. You're warriors. That's why I call you guys warriors. This is what a warrior looks like. And that's the truth. A warrior isn't upstanding and like, fighting. No. Warriors lying down and crying and processing through the pains and the aches and the hurt. So if you need the reminder that it's okay to rest and recover, it's okay. It's okay. You'll get to the stuff when you get to the stuff. You've always been a doer. I know you have, just like me. So when you get the next burst of energy, the kitchen will get cleaned, or the laundry will get done, or the whatever will happen. You just need to let go of expectations of yourself that are too high while you're having an awakening. What is meant to happen will happen. Again, future worrying. If you've got mind like mine that goes like cuckoo and is like doomsdaying and catastrophizing, and it's like, no. If it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it's not meant to be, it won't be. And there's zero control. Zero control over it. I had zero control over my legal battle. As much as I tried, I had zero control over it. I really did. Once it was like in motion, it was like this giant thing that was just, I was being taken along for the ride, and the majority of it, it felt like I was being drowning. I was being pulled down and drowning. And, the end result is I have a contract to stay in my house for 3 years. That was what was meant to be. It was meant to be for me. It was meant to be so that I have a place for my soul kids, because I have 3 20-year-olds all come from traumatic backgrounds that live with me. And it was meant to be. Spirit arranged it, because my ego would have run, is what my ego would have done. But then where would my 3 soul kids be, right? So Spirit has concocted this, and I had to learn to let go of expectation and control and surrender over and over and over and over again, until I got the message. And I'm sure I'm still going to have situations where I'm trying to control shit, and the universe is going to be like, no, let go. You got to surrender to it. Let yourself surrender. This is leading you to deep peace. See, I just said surrender. Yes, surrender. When you're in the worst of it, you need to just just surrender into it. Just lie there and let yourself be carried. If you feel like you're drowning, let yourself drown. Let yourself drown. You won't actually die. You're not actually drowning. There's not actually in this room. Remember, we go back to I am safe in my room. You're not actually nothing is actually going to happen to you. It feels like it might. Your mind might tell you it might. But what is really happening is you are being pulled down through the eye of the needle into a whole new way of being, which is eventually bringing us to peace. And this goes back to many videos. I've shown the spiral of the emotions and how they work their way up from deep depression into some other fears, and then jealousies, and then other emotions, anger, hurt, all these types of things, working our way up to the tippy top. The tippy top is where we want to go, right? We can't get there. We can't bypass to bliss. There is no elevator that's going to take you the fast route. You got to sit in each emotion and you slowly work your way up. And then you start feeling some things like neutrality. Like the other day, I had an experience that would have really upset me in the past. And I was like, meh, that's sad. But there was no sadness. There was no overwhelm emotion that came with it. There was the recognition that it was a shitty situation, but I was unbothered. There's a British comedian that's always like, I'm unbothered. I'm unbothered. Unbothered. Catherine Tate, I think that's her name. So yes, this is leading us to peace. So it's leading us first to neutrality. Then we're going to start to feel some things like love and compassion. Those are nice kind of vibes. Those are better emotions to sit in. Bliss, harmony, peace. That's the fuck where I'm going. I don't know where you're going, but that's where I'm going. And if go into peace, if ascension, here's the ascension. If ascension means lying my ass on a ball for a while and reassuring myself that it's okay to feel lonely once in a blue moon, and you don't have to always feel empowered, and it's okay to miss hugs and physical contact. Yeah, all of those things are normal. 100% normal. All of those things are normal, and I'll process through it, and then I'll feel better later on this afternoon when I'm doing my group, which is coming up in an hour. You will be tested by old energies. Yes, we will have reoccurrent themes come in over and over and over to give us the "Are you sure?" test. Are you sure you've learned this lesson? Are you sure you're going to stay the course? Are you sure you're not going to fall back into old habits? Are you sure? It's like the devil whispering in your ear. Don't you remember how it felt when you were high? Maybe you should get high again. Then you wouldn't feel like this. And you're like, fuck off. Not today, Satan. Or maybe if you had something sugary, maybe this would feel better. You'd be all self-soothed. That loneliness wouldn't hurt so much. Oh, maybe I'll pick up Tinder and just call a random, and that's what that makes me think. No, I'm not so lonely that I'm going to sell myself short of everything that I deserve and go into another dysfunctional situation with somebody. That's just revolting. So you will be tested, and that's what part of these things are. Are you sure that you're going to stay the course? You sure you want to go to God? You sure you want to create heaven on earth? Are you sure? Because if you are, then, well, you're going to have to withstand all the temptations to fall back into old habits, old behaviors, old way of doing things, and instead stay the course, feel the feels, sit in the ick, go into the muck to unfuck, and just lie there at times. Number 10, self-mastery equals self-maturity, spiritual maturity. That's what we're doing here, folks. We're on an enlightening. This is, the Buddha made it look a lot better by sitting under a Bodhi tree. And hey, listen, I do a lot of sitting under trees. Don't get me wrong. And most people aren't crazy enough to do a video of them lying in bed going, this is what a spiritual awakening looks like. But I want people to know this is, nobody's going to be doing artistic depictions of an enlightenment path that looks like this. But that's what they should do. It would be a lot more accurate. It would be a lot more real. It would take a lot of guilt off people's shoulders and shame off people's shoulders if they knew that this is what an awakening actually looked like. I would have loved to have seen Buddha like this. Or how about Jesus while he's like lying, in the desert being tempted by the devil in a ball going, like that dude had fear too. Don't get us wrong. It's not like he was absent of fear or doubt or confusion or any of those things. And that's what we're being challenged with. We are given the gift of enlightenment. Am I enlightened? No. Am I on the path of enlightenment? Yes. That's mind-blowing. That's huge. That's massive. My whole life, I was like, oh, wow, enlightenment. That's the coolest thing ever. Like, one of my heroes is the Dalai Lama. Like, seriously, I'm like in awe of that man. And to be on the path, now, I'm nowhere near where he is. Don't get me wrong. But that's what's happening when you've had a Kundalini is you've being given the gift of being on the enlightenment path. And the enlightenment path is the process of purging anything that's not light. So we're purging. We're purifying for our enlightenment, for self-mastery. So when you look at it from that perspective of, this is mastery. This is mastery. This is my mastery for my own spiritual development, for my soul's development so that I can ascend. Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to feel the feels. I'm going to deal with each ache and pain as it comes like a brave fucking warrior that I am. And I'm going to honor it. I'm going to honor myself, and I'm going to honor the Kundalini, and I'm going to honor spirit, and I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to be disciplined, and I'm going to show up every single day and just do whatever the day gives me. I'm not going to direct the day. I'm going to accept the day. I'm going to surrender to whatever purge is happening to me. I'm going to allow myself to be not okay if I'm not okay, without judgment, without criticism, without mental, inner critic going ape in my ear. Shh, it's okay. This too shall pass, little inner critic. Be here now. Be here now. I'm going to practice presence like I am the Dalai Lama. And I'm going to be inspired by those that have walked the path before me, and understanding with reverence and grace and all of these energies that I have been gifted this time in my life to do this work, to lie here right now on a Sunday morning with a ball and to feel these feelings fully. It is a gift. The purge is the most horrific and horrible and unpleasant gift that I will ever receive in my life. It is a gift from the divine, from God, from spirit, the creator, however you want to look at it. Not everyone is chosen to walk this path or lie this path. Not everyone is chosen to have a Kundalini. Not everyone is chosen to have a spiritual awakening. But we have been, which makes us warriors. So with that all said, thank you, and thank you, my warriors, for honoring my journey as I lie my path. And I will see you in the Spiritual Warriors support group. And I will see you in our Zoom meetings. And I will see you in our dance-offs that I'm going to hold every, hopefully, full moon is the plan now. And I will see you when I see you. Thank you, and thank you for all the likes, shares, subscriptions, supers, donations, comments. Peace. In.